All right. A little bit of a messy start there, but it's honestly been a messy few days. It's I speak for all of Americans when, we're trying not to curse on the show, but there's really no other way to describe that I've been feeling very fucked in the head. And that's probably using the most conservative language that I can describe. Because whether you knew Charlie as a colleague like I did, whether he was a closer person to you, you were a friend and a colleague like Tyler Boyer, Andrew Colvett, Jack Posobiec, or maybe you were just a student that, you worked at a club, and maybe you actually, were somebody who even more than that, were somebody who ultimately just was impacted by the things that he did, by the service that he gave to the country. When you see a moderate, somebody whose whole stance is to try to hold back the floodgates of extremism, whether you liked it or not, right? Even taking the stance to support Israel, even taking the stance to keep a very streamlined Republican position, that's the person they decided to shoot. If we could also get the Discord shut off somewhere there. Someone's Discord is on coming in here. Yeah, that's the person that they decided to shoot. That's the person that they decided to kill. And do it in front of children, do it in front of his wife, do it in front of his daughter. Talk about a tearjerker there. People that were there said that when the gunshot went off, his daughter ran to him to try to get comfort because she was scared, but she couldn't obviously get to him because her mom was too busy holding her, watching her husband shoot blood out of his neck and die. And anyone who saw the shot knew that was fatal, but we all wished it wasn't. And it's sort of like watching the Twin Towers get hit by the planes, and watching them collapse and still not being able to understand what you just saw. I just want to say, as a tribute to an old longtime friend, I've known him for about 8-9 years now, from when he was getting 100 people in a college to now he's filling stadiums, getting presidents elected. What a guy, and he's younger than me. Makes me I haven't accomplished anything in light of what he's done. What we really need to remember is on all of this, who's really hurting? His poor wife, who just absolutely lost the light of her life. And I know anyone losing their husband would be tough, but losing a husband like that, there's no other man of that caliber. There's no man of that caliber. So, the importance of what we're talking about today, I know this is a very dark way to open, but it's, not the most fun thing. I do want to remind you guys as we start, I want to introduce my guest today, and it's you invited comedians on to talk about assassinations, killers, and death. Unfortunately, yes. Because life's become a joke. That's sort of what it is. Life has become one giant, dark, cinematic hoax. And it feels like we are all, people say there's proliferation of porn. There is. Because we're all getting bent over and fucked every day, whether you like it or not. That's how it feels today. Joining me today are my guests, who, by the way, you can also intro and tell people you have a show tonight and tomorrow night. But like all podcasters, we're willing to talk about whatever's important, and this is what's important. Keanu Thompson, welcome to The Rift. We're so glad to have you here. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Keanu Thompson. Thank you for having us, first of all, Elijah. This is lovely. I'm a comic. This is my elderly husband, Eugene. We're going to do a show tonight. Where, Gene?
Sad Man Comedy Club, where we weren't going to do the show, but once he let me get bent over and fucked, I'm like, I'm in. And he said, Gene, look, we're doing a show, and it's about tragedy. He's like, anyone can make fun of the blacks and the Jews. I said, tell me about it. That's all Keanu does on the car ride over.
Absolutely not true.
But we came to talk about this because there's a side to dark comedy. But even this, we were saying before the show started. I said in all my years, and I've got more than probably you two nearly combined, I've never seen a live assassination. And this has to be some sort of turning point, no pun intended, in the country. Like a lot of people, you can literally go two directions from this, okay? You can be like, okay, we've got to exact revenge. And I mean, you can go two directions from each side of the aisle, okay? Let's say you're a Republican. You can go, you're conservative like me, and you can be like, all right, they all have to die. Or you have to say, did you really like Charlie Kirk? Because what would Charlie Kirk do in this situation? And there's an AI going around of what Charlie Kirk would do. And he's like, look, my body is dead, but I'm in a better place. Because something Charlie Kirk, he was full of two things. He was full of love, he was full of passion, but he was not full of shit. And everything Charlie Kirk ever said he meant. And he'd be like, they just proved everything I was telling you. And do me a goddamn favor. and don't undo everything I did by being like the piece of shit that shot me, who allegedly they have in custody.
Right, and we are going to be talking about the alleged shooter, which I want to remind people, the only reason why I'm a little bit more confident it could actually be them.
Speaking of alleged shooter, I apologize for last night. I didn't. I
Hell
lied.
yeah.
I lied.
It's fine,
I lied.
Eugene.
See
Happens
that?
all the time.
I didn't make fun of the dead guy or the Jews.
Well, we'll get there.
Thank you.
We're going to
Means a lot
have
to
to because
me.
believe it or not, Ben Shapiro and Mark Levin are coming up, which they themselves. You don't even have to. They're the only people I know who have higher profile who I feel like I'm punching down when I'm talking about them. You know, it's very weird when someone's richer, more famous than you. And for the
Not
once
for
I can
me.
say,
It's
not
not
better
weird
looking.
for me. It's not
Why?
odd for me at all. When someone's richer, more famous, or taller,
You're not
Well,
rich?
98
Damn
percentile
it.
of men. It's like this guy's 5'1". He's no, but jokes aside, Mark Levin and Ben Shapiro. It's the smarminess and the craziness. We'll get into that. But before we jump into the story, we're going to be talking about the shooter. We're going to talk about what we know, new developments, some of the conspiracies. We're going to look at the reactions of prominent people to what's going on in Charlie's life. We're going to talk a little bit about his accomplishments, look at some things. And I think that's mainly what we're going to be discussing. And then in the second half, we're going to talk a little bit about some things with comedy, what's going on in the comedy scene. Even the fact that Charlie's death is so big, it's affected comics, which is, comics actually are some of the most depressed fucking people you ever meet in your life, by the way. But they know how to make a joke out of it. They have a really dark way of seeing life, so they kind of make life happy for all of us because they usually have a lot of trauma and undealt with issues, which we all do. So do podcasters, by the way. That's why we get along. That's why comics are good at podcasting, because you have to be a little bit degenerate, fucked in the head, and also yet still keep a smile on your face and know how to live off a hangover.
And vulnerable. And
Yeah.
drunk. Yes. Vulnerable, drunk. And
Substance
fucked
abuse.
up in the head. Absolutely.
You don't listen to her. I'm sorry, was I talking to my
It's
business?
like, by the way, you're
talking to my business.
smitten too. By the way, this is like I told him that too. I was like, how long you guys been together? And it was like, how long you guys been together?
We've been hooking up and dating off and on for 5 years, and then the lockdown hit, and thank God for vaccines, which opened the country back up.
Hell
See how I
yeah.
can dance. See how I can dance. And
He
then
can always bring it back to Dr. Fauci somehow.
We
I
love
don't know
him.
how.
oh
Yeah,
my
okay.
God, oh my
Thank
God.
God.
Don't.
Thank God for the vaccines, right?
And
Those
we
things.
love those. I'm
Dude,
vaccinated.
people were literally dying to get them. You know what I mean? It was so.
I'm telling you.
Oh man.
I'm vaccinated. I'm fine. Go ahead, Eugene.
They say it started in a lab.
Don't.
I believe it now. 'Cause
Oh wow, the woman who goes along. Of course, the woman's vaccinated. 'Cause,
I
like,
didn't know what to do.
I actually don't blame women for getting vaccinated. I blame the men in their lives.
He makes me feel
I
like
wasn't
yeah.
in her life then. I was drunk. No one's going to
You
question
had been
that.
inside me, not in my life, though.
Nice.
But, yeah.
Hey,
Enough
good for
about
you.
the car ride over. What were we talking
We are
about?
smitten
And that was the one I
together.
was driving, which made it more awkward. It's like, I'm sorry. No, but we're talking
That's
about.
why you're sitting there.
True,
Way to
true.
tie that together, young man.
Well, yeah, there were ropes involved, but we'll move on. All right, before we jump into this, guys, I want to talk to sports fans here for a second because we got some really crazy information. If you're ready to bet with confidence right now, MyBookie's got an incredible deal for you. When you opt in and use the promo code RIFT, I see you're wearing a Chargers shirt right now as well. Big football fan. I don't know if you can go over to him real fast, Ed. Check that out. Chargers. We didn't plan this, but if you use promo code RIFT at mybookie.com, you'll get your first bet back if it loses up to $500. You heard that right. Lose your bet, and MyBookie's got your back with a refund of up to $500. It's the perfect way to jump into the action without the worry. Just head to bit.ly/JOINWITHRIFT, opt in, enter promo code RIFT to claim the offer. Don't miss out. Sign up today at bit.ly/joinwithrift and bet smarter with MyBookie. Terms apply, so check the site for details. Just so you guys know, if you have a problem with betting and or you have a moral obligation to not bet, I am a betting man, so I don't mind promoting it. But if you are not into that, I do tell you don't do it. And I always say that with anything. If we are talking about whiskey or any vice or anything, please don't start a vice if you haven't gone into it. But if you are a betting man, get a free bet, $500 at bit.ly/joinwithrift, promo code RIFT, or mybookie.com. Go ahead.
If you're not a betting man, don't ruin it for the people that are good at it. And by the people that are good at it, I mean people like me
Why
and
don't
you.
we ever win any money then,
Because we
Eugene?
know we're bad at it, okay? Like, if you bet the over in the first game of the season, 49 points, and at half, there were 41 total scored, and then there was a field goal and a lightning delay, and they all sat in the locker room together going like, that's enough of a game, and they said, we don't give a fuck about Geno's money. And I didn't come out and say, how could that happen? I laughed. But then other people will bet their kid's future on it like your
For
kid
the
has
first-
a future.
for the-
Stop it.
For the first time, I'm realizing I think my husband has a problem with betting.
No, I'm
Do
really
you
good
think
at it.
he'll have a
I don't
problem?
mind
That's a good
losing.
a gamble right here.
Yeah.
Unless she's too crazy. There's a crazy hot scale. So it's like, I saw her, I was like, oh, this is your daughter. You know what I mean? Which, by the way, considering we're in Palm Beach, Epstein's from here. I mean, you know, who knows? Who knows? But the most important part is you're like, oh, this is my wife. So like, you know, good for you. But then I realized sometimes it's a trap. Sometimes you don't want to congratulate your friends when they have a good looking girl. But then also too, you go, but also it might be hell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's sort of like a guy who has a lot of money, but he works in the mafia and got it like, you know, so it's like, hey, it's cool, you got a lot of money, but now you got to deal with the criminal aspect of
Yes.
it.
You
know?
tell them it's not hell right
Yeah.
now.
I'm crying because I'm so happy.
Yeah. Immediately comes in and asks for a drink. You're like, oh, you're traveling with a female.
He goes, would you like some whiskey? Yes.
Yeah, when you're traveling with a man, drinks start before the trip because that's called hanging out. When you're with a woman, it starts at the end of the trip, and you go, look, I can't do this anymore. You don't drink before because she'll get pissed off you started drinking. But by the end of the trip, you're like, you know, I don't even know. You're married to the alcohol more than you are to the woman. But I want to jump into this. So let's talk about the shooter here. This is actually serious. So everybody knows that we found out who the alleged shooter was, and there's a lot of conspiracy, a lot of things that make me question what's going on. So you know, the shooter. I'm gonna see if we have I don't know why we don't have like an actual just the original post here, which I'm gonna see if I can look for here. But one of the things that is with the shooter for Charlie is that he is apparently from Utah, and his father turned him in. This is where I want to start here. His father turned him in. And we have a picture of, you know, the average shooter in this country today, the average school shooter, if you can bring this up for a second. We all know what they've all looked like. We've had a serious LGBTQ problem with mass murder. I like to go back to the time when they just did it to themselves. You know what I mean? Can we get back to the what we all loved, that we always knew, hey, that person's kind of crazy, but they won't be here a long time.
Yeah.
But I didn't like it when we were not going to be here a long time because they're crazy, right? It's gotten a little bit out
wouldn't
of
you
control.
argue they used to do it to themselves because it was such a personal thing that went on? But now they've been propped up so much, and I don't mean in a, oh, God bless them. They've been propped up so much in the mainstream that now they start to believe the incredible lies. This last guy, they basically, from what I'm hearing, bullied his mother, or guilted or shamed, however you want to say it, with the old, do you want a trans daughter or a dead son? And then the son feels he has to go on to not upset his mother. And then they just, by the time they get old enough and it all comes together in what's left of their firing synapses, they're like, I got played. And my life is over because I'll never be who I was. They took that from me. I can't go back, and I'm done, and I'm taking people with me. And forgive me if you think I'm saying too much for them, and I'm sure I am. But that is why, in my mind, in the old days, it's like, what did I do? I'm going to kill myself. But now they're like, no, because the pharmaceutical industry needs more money, so we'll pump you full of more. We won't let you die. We'll keep making money on you, and we'll have your family support you until there's no more supporting you because you're like, it's a bridge too far. And then they take it out on more people because they've had more time to get more angry because they had to sit in the dugout. That's my phone. I'm so embarrassed.
Oh, Eugene.
Honestly, we can't hear it in the microphone. We've actually had you muted for the last 4 minutes. we have noise canceling, so these are just making noise.
And my bringer's never on. But do you know what I mean?
No, you're
Like
good.
that's literally it. Now, rather than them just being in a dark place all by themselves, they're so supported and so propped up and so Pride Month and everything that by the time instead of it taking a couple months or years, I don't know, it's gone on for so long and they're so tortured, they snap. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm saying something to think about.
But you know why there's not a lot of transgenders in China or in India, especially in the one-child policy?
They're not allowed to probably be trans.
Well, no,
there.
it's because it's hard once the guy turns into a girl, it's hard for the parents to abort him at that age. You know what I mean? So it's
to quote Krusty the
all
Clown.
the babies will be
that's
trying
gone.
to turn into boys then.
Correct,
At birth,
correct.
Right, or else they'll be thrown into the
which
river.
we call the correct
Yeah.
gender. So let me go to the shooter here real fast. I want to read this to you guys. This is kind of Jennifer Jacobs. Here's what we know: the father of the 22-year-old charged in the Charlie Kirk killing saw the photos released by authorities and confronted his son. Law enforcement sources told CBS News Robinson admitted to his dad that he was the person in the photos. His father urged him to turn himself in, but the son said he'd rather commit suicide. I just won't use that. He'd rather, off
Unalive.
himself.
Yes.
The sources said the father called a pastor who knows the son. The pastor, so they called a pastor. Then the pastor called the U.S. Marshals and other law enforcement agencies. Which, by the way, that's the right thing to do.
Is he allowed to do that?
Yeah. Pastors, if you violated a felony that is actual danger, the pastor can go to jail for co-conspiracy.
Thank you.
That and abuse of children and SA as well. Not like basic, not like Me Too stuff, but like,
So, like,
you
he
know,
went
someone
to-
Fun stuff.
Yeah, it's fun. Someone did the real deal. You know what I mean?
It's a pastor, so he didn't like go behind the screen and like confess. Or
Correct.
something.
Did they,
Yeah.
I think were they Mormon?
Yeah,
I think
it
they were
said
Mormon.
Mormon. They were. I saw a Mormon
Aren't they
somewhere.
I think the Mormons have pastors and priests, right? Isn't there like
No
a
idea.
differentiation? Oh no, my family's Mormon. They're all in Utah, anyways. Too. They're in Utah,
Oh, yeah,
Indiana.
Utah, big Mormon
Yeah.
area. Right.
I remember I went there, and my cousin's like a big priest, over there in the church, and I remember like, yeah, I'm not gonna get into it, but I remember like what was weird is like all of my family in California is like Mexican and fat, which is fine. I love them, but it's just true. And then out there, they were like white Chads and like Stacy's, and it was like a big differentiation. And then the Mormons have really preserved the gene pool. That's all I'm gonna say. It's like I was like, man, I'm somewhere in between. I'm like an ugly Mexican with white skin. But anyway,
Do you have Mexican heritage?
no, I just mean I got the bad genes. You know what I mean? I got the bad white genes. I'm the Mexican of white people. I'm like, I didn't get the Swedish gene. Have you looked at me? People, I don't even have a face for radio. You know what I mean? They didn't even want me on AM. They're like, get that guy. The intonation of his voice. Anyway, so the father called a pastor. Tyler Robinson is being held on aggravated murder, obstruction of justice, felony discharge of a firearm. CBS reports he's a third-year student in the electrical apprenticeship program at Dixie Technical College. You hear that, kids? Just go to trade school. That's the answer. He briefly attended Utah State University. The father owns a business installing kitchen countertops and cabinets. I have no idea why this is necessary. His mother is a licensed social worker. The Robinsons are Mormon and active in the church. Tyler is the oldest of three. Now, let me go back here. I only read that because it sounds like it should be a good kid. However, we have an epidemic here. We have a real problem. And we're going to just take it on. We're doing this show with the assumption that this is the killer, knowing that we could be wrong, knowing this could be a setup, knowing this could be a conspiracy.
Why?
Well, we'll talk
No,
about that.
my question is,
Yeah.
why don't we believe it? We used to believe it. And we'll talk about I don't mean to derail, but why?
Because we were retarded for believing anything.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Because they blew up, because Israel did 9/11 and we're still funding their wars.
Yeah.
That's literally creating the refugee crisis that's destroying Western Europe. And we literally let in, what, 10, 15 million people possibly in the last 4 years in our border?
Yeah, but for what it's worth, all the kids are gone.
That's true. That's Hillary Clinton is, they always say,
Yeah.
if you want to know logistics, talk to Hillary. She can move kids faster than a Haitian can move a house, It's crazy.
Take it from the Mexican white guy.
It's
I
true.
know, like-
So man, she sees, I know, right? Right? She sees a shipping container. She's like, the amount of kids you could fit in that thing. She reads slavery books and sees how they put them on ships, but it's not to learn history. It's to learn her
It's just
future.
for research.
It's to save
Yes,
money.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, to save. You don't have to let them stand up. So, anyways, check this out. So apparently he got radicalized, which is what we're finding out. Finding out by a lot of people. This is the conspiracy I want to talk about. Is did he get radicalized because he's just a radical kid, or are people being targeted to radicalize them to do things that are evil, or should we just expect a lot of random acts of violence in the future? Listen to this.
Area with trees on the edge of the UVU campus. Investigators discovered a bolt-action rifle wrapped in a dark-colored towel. The rifle was determined to be a Mauser Model 98 30-06 caliber bolt-action rifle. The rifle had a scope mounted on top of it. Investigators noted inscriptions that had been engraved on casings found with the rifle. Inscriptions on a fired casing read, "Notices, bulges, capital OWO, what's this, question mark." Inscriptions on the 3 unfired casings read, "Hey fascist, exclamation point, catch, exclamation point." Up arrow symbol, right arrow and symbol, and 3 down arrow symbols. A second unfired casing read, "Oh Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Chow Chow." And a third unfired casing read, "If you read this, you are gay, LMAO.
What?
We are indebted to law enforcement across the state who's worked seamlessly.
Okay, so I actually want to get your guys' opinion on this, because as much as this is a dark comedy show, everyone has to know that Rift is serious, but it's cynical. I should just say we're very cynical of the world, and very much have to learn to make light of it. It's serious, but it's also, that's just my personality. I shouldn't say the show actually, because Henny's not a dark comedy guy, but I am. I just find a little bit of joy in laughing at how sad and fucked up the world is.
Laughter heals you, as my husband would say. So
Laughter does.
you gotta
You know what else
find
would
a
heal
way.
me?
Yeah.
What's that?
I don't know. Don't say something.
You want
about-
me to say it? You
No,
want me?
I was gonna say. Well, I mean, I am for immigration. We have Thai massage parlors. You know what I mean? It's not a bad thing.
It's just like a little handy. Okay.
I was talking about the shiatsu. What are you talking
Okay.
about?
Excuse me. I don't know.
This is getting. These are inappropriate people.
What's,
I'm
the,
like,
what's the line from Better Call Saul? I have a chiropractor. She will adjust you to completion.
yeah.
Silly me for not thinking of Thai.
When you said to
hand
adjust my head,
massage.
what exactly were you referring to?
You didn't think nobody would think that when you say massage, no one thinks chiropractor, Thai hand massage.
Well, I'm a virgin. I am.
Are you
Yeah,
really?
I've never had sex before.
But why?
I just don't. I'm not into it. I'm just not into it.
I think he's.
You're
lying to
married.
us. You're married. All right. You know what's wrong with you?
All right, I have a couple kids. It's true,
Yeah,
but I only did it
exactly.
twice because I had to have the children.
I
so-
thought it was a new bit I was missing. I'm sorry.
I
I'm so
didn't know
bad.
what
I'm
kind
like,
of
I
we were
haven't
supposed to
watched
go
the
with
rib
it.
stuff. I'm bad.
Yeah, I was like, and I just want to see how much I'd like to see how much I can convince females of things that are not true. You know,
I
it's called
just-
gaslighting, and I'm very. It's one of my hobbies. So speaking of gaslighting, though, do we believe this? Do we believe that he just became radicalized recently, and that he just decided that who like usually people become radicalized on the right, and you like maybe quietly watch Nick Fuentes when you're in your work break in the bathroom, or like if you're in the left. Maybe you jerk off to Hassan Piker talking about America
Maybe.
deserve 9/11. Like maybe that's what you do. But like not ever do I really think you're like, hey, maybe the Democrat establishment isn't what we want. Maybe I'll go grab a bolt action rifle, case a place, and kill a most prominent moderate political voice in America in front of children, his own children. Like, do you know where I'm going with this?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, where does that? Like because like the transgender shooting up the schools, because that actually makes sense. Because like even though I still think it's MK Ultra, but it's like you're mentally ill, so you go on a rampage, and you always find out this actually sounds horrible. The amount of ammo they bring and the amount of people they neutralize, it actually shows how like not planned and trained they are. It's like they brought 10,000 rounds and they killed 6 kids, and you're like, well, obviously you weren't trained. You obviously didn't know what you're doing. You obviously didn't have a plan. You're like psychotic. That's a psychotic break. But like we saw in Butler with the assassination attempt on Trump, and with this assassination, both the same style, get on a roof far away, get a rifle, a scope long arm.
Sadly, not that far away. How'd they get that close?
Oh, in the Butler?
Butler, this wasn't
here.
even that far, but I mean, they're not looking for the assassin here.
We never really got answers about that kid either. So.
Oh, you're not going to get answers
No.
about that kid.
No, you never will.
But yeah, good luck.
But circling back to what started it is indoctrinating. Like, if you've ever been, and you can make fun of me, I never went to one as a comedian, but I finally saw one like a couple years ago, like a comedian hypnotist.
What?
You ever see a comedian hypnotist? Look, they're funny. They hypnotize. But before they do it, and this is like what I think when you say it's MK Ultra, it's it's indoctrination. They have like, anyone want to try this? They have like 20 people come on stage, and I forget what they do. Not like it matters.
The hypnotist is the comedian.
Yeah, the hypnotist
I thought
is
that
comedian.
you were fucked up in the head, and you were like, I need a hypnotist. Here, and all the comedians go
so
to
they have
what?
the hypnotist
That
go
we're
up,
calling
and
it
there's
now.
20
Yeah.
people in a row, and they're like, you can be hypnotized. You can't. You have to go, thank you so much. And they say it in a nice way. But once you get a kid that's gullible, that's indoctrinable,
Oh,
which
like
isn't
that
a
acts
word.
like they're hypnotized. I know what you're talking about. There's
Like,
always that one
I think
retard.
there's certain people that can be indoctrinated and certain people that can't. Like, these schools are indoctrinating kids. I'm sorry, you can make fun of me. You can say I'm Grandpa Simpson yelling at clouds, but it's not everyone. But a lot of them are susceptible to this. And this is a kid that, if you believe he's the guy, and I'm willing to believe it now, but you know what I mean? After COVID, after we caught on, after we started to question COVID, and we were wrong to question it, the vaccines were amazing. But after we did, that we started to question everything, and you look at these kids today, and there's some that just, I believe they're simply that easily indoctrinated. And if this is the kid that did it, and I know that sounds ridiculous, but you don't know what to believe, then yeah, he bought it. He's writing the stuff on the bullets like the other guy did because he wants to be Luigi Mangione. He's on a rooftop with a sniper because he wants to be the guy that shot at Trump. And they believe all these things, to fight back against fascism, because you know what a fascist does. He takes power from the government and gives it back to the states. That's what a fascist does, right? You fucking idiots.
Yeah, I was.
God!
I'm actually with you, and I kind of want to bring up some of this.
You're all the way
extremism.
over there. I
No.
tried to sit on your lap, and you got never mind.
Well,
He's a virgin, Eugene.
Nicely
I said I was a
done.
virgin, but one time I went to go see Santa, and then he told me to sit on his lap, talk about the first thing that popped up, and I'll just tell you, you know.
Not bad. Not bad.
All right.
Not bad.
Yeah.
I'm doing it. I'm doing it tonight. It's Sandman comedy. Sad man. I fucked up.
Was it a white Christmas?
Your mic is
Hell
muted.
yeah,
Wait,
not
yeah.
bad.
It was a
Not
white
bad.
Christmas, just for me.
heard it.
Unfortunately, it's hard. It's hard to learn about Christmas like that when you're only 9. But anyway, all right. But I'm just saying. All right, let's talk. But let's talk about this. So I've had a lot of experience with anti-fascists. You know, they've literally cracked my skull open, like physically, right? I mean, I was in Portland. Yeah, that was actually Seattle. I've got him multiple times. But the guy came up with brass knuckles and just popped the back of my skull to split my skull open. It was bad. I had to go get like I've gone to the emergency room so many times doing like gonzo journalism stuff. But you know, there was a really violent time. Do you guys remember that during the first Trump era? We're having like assassinations of school shooters now, but before that we had Antifa, and Antifa. You know, we had kind of held the reins through Black Lives Matter. They were sort of the brown shirts of the movement to sort of keep people in check. They assaulted journalists. There's a lot of things that have happened on what's gone on. But I will say one of the most important things is that when they hit me, I noticed the police didn't do anything. And what you know is that a lot of the people in power say that Antifa isn't a real group, it's an idea, right? It's an idea of being against state-sponsored authoritarianism. When actuality, anti-fascism is a movement, it's an ideology, but it's also a group of people, it's a terrorist cell, and it took years for it to finally be deemed a terrorist cell. They found out they literally have training centers, they're literally training people. So if this guy, you can bring this up, Tim Cass News is pretty reliable. He's a moderate, he's not a sensational right-winger. You know, they said Tyler Robinson was allegedly involved in multiple Antifa Discord servers. I'm going to say there needs to be possibly a federal probe and federal raid on Antifa cells, because if this guy was connected to Antifa, and this is like this is not your like Dan Bongino show where I'm trying to get my boomer audience to like get him like Antifa, they're everywhere. It's like, no, Antifa's really in a few places. It's really in the Pacific Northwest is where it's concentrated.
Oh, yeah.
They do have cells in every major city, New York especially, Northeast, but it's predominantly in the Pacific Northwest. They have a huge cell in Los Angeles, but it's not as important in Los Angeles because they have Mexicans. So they're way more dangerous, and you don't need white guys, you know, doing the job for them. Not all, but most. But however, I really want to bring this up. I got cracked in the head, but I also, we did a lot of work. This is why sometimes I see like Cam Higsby just like going to a protest. Do you ever see this with like 20 people in Seattle? And be like, I got beat up. You're like, where were you the last decade? You don't go to those things. They'll literally just kill you, and the government is literally Antifa people themselves. My point is that I went undercover as Antifa for a month during the siege of the federal building where the DHS broke my fucking leg and never apologized. However,
Leg?
yeah, because they thought I was Antifa, so they broke my leg. And
Why did they think you were Antifa?
Because I
He
was
was
dressed.
posing
I was
as
embedded.
Antifa.
I did a 30-day
Oh, I'm
extremism.
sorry,
I
I'm
embedded for
stupid.
30 days during a siege. And one thing that I noticed with eating with these people, drinking beer with them, smoking stoves, and hanging out was that they were very, very, very organized, and they really were planning how to be violent, how to attack the officers, how to inflict ultimate damage with non-lethal weapons, so you couldn't get a felony, with a lethal weapon. And it's like, how do you sharpen a bottle, and Molotov cocktails and training groups and at libraries and stuff. My point is that if this is Antifa and he is being trained, that video's there is me getting beat up by black people. But that's
How
yeah,
many
you bring
years
that up.
ago was the?
I don't know. That was during Antifa. Yeah, that was during Antifa.
When they
right,
were in
as well.
that whatever city.
Yeah, that was a city I don't like to go to called
Chop or
Philadelphia.
whatever,
No,
or
well, I lived at Chop for a week too.
You did.
Yeah,
The Chop, that's what I was trying to think.
yeah.
Yeah,
We were one of the
Chaz.
first people there as the cops left and went undercover there and filmed the people planning to kill people. We put so many videos out of people planning to kill people. It was crazy. So my point is I'm really bringing this up as a serious, suggestion here. Is if this guy is Antifa, this could be one of many terrorist attacks that are going in the future. And I would count this less as an assassination as terrorism. because of the way it was carried out.
I feel like he's a little young for that, though. What is he, 22?
They're all like that age.
Okay. But back
And they're all
then-
white. So I'm saying, like,
Because
they're white.
I don't hear about Antifa too much anymore, really, right?
But yeah, because I'm saying, because maybe they've been planning.
They're
maybe
lying in wait. Yeah.
But couldn't you argue? Sorry to cut you off. Couldn't you argue like that should be a blow to Antifa? Like anyone that still thinks Antifa is anything but the very things they protest against, this would maybe I'm wrong. I mean, now I'm catching myself like, no, they'd be like, he's trying to stop the fascists and his Trump and his mouthpiece. But this is a moment, I was saying this earlier, where people are going to have to take a side. I talked about people on the right, what we have to do, but people on the left really need to take a step back and either realize, and you could say I'm just being that angry old conservative, the left is the party of violence and hatred and racism. And I'm sorry, you can yell at me for that, but they keep proving that time and time again. No one I know has ever, like, trust me, I say in my act, I pray there's a hell, and I pray that someday Joe Biden, I say Jill more than Joe, John Mayorkas more than, just all these people, there will be a time they will sit there and they will have to answer for what they've done. But I don't say I'm going to send them to hell. But there's got to be a moment, and now, if not now, when, where Democrats take a step back and say, what are we doing? What are we doing? And especially when you see the memes going around of Joe Biden and all the things they wrote on his Twitter and acted like he said. When you get, Maxine Waters saying we've got to push back on these people. When AOC says this Rashad Penny was a running back, but the Penny guy Penny guy on the subway that choked the guy out. And she's like, this is making the subways unsafe, but says nothing when that guy in North Carolina stabs that innocent woman. This is a moment where hopefully they'll step back and say, we really are pieces of shit. And they won't, not in politics because they need the money, but hopefully the people that are putting them in politics will take a step back and saying, when did we become this?
Right.
I would hope.
I feel like it's not a side, it's not a group, but if you look at the praise in some people, like Luigi Mangione, right? He wrote on the bullets, he did the same thing, like
keep going.
I feel like he was a 22-year-old kid that got indoctrinated by the internet and went, look what happened to Luigi. He was a model on Sheen just now. Look at him, and then maybe went like, oh fuck it, I'll just go and take out this guy that's so controversial. I have no idea, but I feel like he's not a part of an organization. Just like, I'd rather kill myself than turn myself in. Look at Luigi. I want to do something cool like that.
Yeah.
Because women, and it's disturbing because that man was just as brutally fucking shot as just in the back, in the street. He also had a family.
That was cowardice. I don't care what people say, but that was cowardly.
It was
Shooting a man in
awful.
the back is cowardly.
It's awful. Yes.
That's crazy.
It was insane. And I don't care how obviously healthcare is fucked up in our country.
There you
but
go.
Yeah.
So you could call it cowardly. Right. You go. I'm sorry.
But it's just funny. It's like, I think these people want just notoriety. He's like, maybe I'll do what Luigi did. Maybe he couldn't find a girlfriend. He's like, well, everybody loves Luigi. He's a model in Singapore now.
He couldn't find a girlfriend, please. Yeah. But do you really think it's cowardly? Okay, and I'm not saying the physical way he did it. What we saw, that's how a coward shoots someone. But when you know what's cowardly? He should face the full extent of the law. He murdered a man. But you know what's cowardly? Running the biggest healthcare company in the system, and what he wrote on the bullets. Make sure you deter.
Where do you think he learned that from?
Right, no, but it's cowardly to keep people's money and never have to face them and have a system in order where you're like, make sure you don't give them their money. Well, what are we going to tell them? I don't give a fuck. I'm the president. I get the money. You do it. You don't want to face them? No. I don't want to face them, much like the guy that shot me didn't. So you can call him cowardly.
No. But listen, you're talking to the guy who just got fucked out of $104,000 2 weeks ago from an insurance company.
Right.
So listen. I'm dealing with Jewish insurance, a Indian agent, and blacks who committed the crime, and then
Sounds like a bar joke.
So yeah. Except
So
the bar
it's
joke is American society in 2025. It's like, so you get an Indian, a Jew, a lesbian. You just got to keep going. A queer, a transgender white kid, a transgender half white kid, another transgender white but white Latino, and it's like, oh my gosh, who are all these identities? Yeah, well, society's gotten a little more complicated. Okay,
Sure.
Talking to your self in the 80s, like, what are all these people? Jokes were so simple back then because life was simple. So everyone just knew there was just a Jew and a Greek and a black guy.
I did a lot of jokes about Wawa in the 90s. It was that simple.
Yeah, now Wawa is probably somebody's new name. It's their new
Wawa.
transgender name.
It's a gender. It's my gender. That's my
Wawa.
pronoun.
All right.
Wawa is my pronoun.
This is kind of a bad time to bring up something about rooftop shooters, but you guys have heard of the rooftop Koreans, correct?
Yes.
There is a new publishing company that's forming that's trying to create novels and not just fiction, but also like novels to teach kids, teenagers that are good about the things that based people have done in society. For instance, there's this one called Return of the Rooftop Koreans. It's a brand new graphic novel that just dropped on Kickstarter. So if you want to we got to make the change. We got to make the change. Well, if you know the history during the LA riots in '92, when the city was burning and the cops were overwhelmed, Korean American business owners literally had to take to the rooftops with rifles to protect their families and stores. They became legends. The Rooftop Koreans. This book brings the spirit back for a new generation. It's over 140 pages, full color, and tells the story of Ernst Guan, a Korean American store owner who shoots a criminal in self-defense during a robbery. The media twists the truth, LA spirals into chaos, and Ernest is forced to rise up and lead a new generation of rooftop Koreans. It's about survival, family, and standing your ground when no one else will. If you're tired of cancel culture and you believe in the right to defend yourself and your community, this book is for you. Go to Kickstarter right now and then search Return of the Rooftop Koreans and grab your copy today. Back it, share it, and experience this one-of-a-kind story. Check out the link in the bio to learn more about what it is. Again, it's in the bio. There should be on the screen. I don't know, but I think we have a link. I don't know if it's there. Actually, it's not there. But go to the bio and check it out and go ahead and support them. It's important that we support companies that are doing the things that we need to be doing. I kind of want to bring this up too about his communications on Discord, though, like you said. So, Tyler Robinson was communicating with someone on Discord prior to and about the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Apparently, his roommate or his friend. People are talking about sort of what the current suggestion is. So it means that others were involved. That doesn't mean that others were involved in a conspiracy because you could just been telling them like, "Hey, pick me up," and they don't know what's going on. We would have to see the messages. So I think it's a little bit too audacious to sort of bring that in. But someone said that the Utah government said no one else was involved. So it could have been to his parents. That could be how his parents knew, right? We don't know how his parents found out per se. We don't have all the details. But the point is that like I wrote something on X that I think is very important. That I think a lot of people are feeling. You get a lot of people like Nancy Mace who are like, we need to bring back the death penalty. We need to kill him immediately or whatever they're saying. And I wrote this, and it did. I mean, for the amount of views it got, only 176,000 views. It got 6.3 thousand likes, which means it's a very high engaged post, right? I said, I want a televised trial to prove this was him, no JFK bullshit, meaning I don't actually want like just a public execution, like these sensationalists. Give his wife the gun and let her pull the trigger. Yeah, maybe after it is televised and we can all look at all the facts ourselves and make sure that we believe this is who it was, and we have an investigation to find out if he was a part of a terrorist cell. Was he a part of? Was he commanded to do this? Was there? Who was involved? Who wasn't involved? What was that plane? Did that plane that turned off its transponder right after and dropped something off and then came back that belonged to a Jewish businessman from right there? Was that involved in this?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, so what's true and what's not? I'm not going to put up with this. That was the shooter, and then we fried him or whatever. Here's a guy who blew up the federal building in Oklahoma, and then we just put him to death, and no more. It's like I actually think this guy maybe even if the death penalty shouldn't be swift because he should be available as we find more information, as there's more investigations to answer for himself. And then I want to kill him. But I want there to be a full investigation.
Right. Anybody that does something like this probably, like he said, wants to die. So it should be a long fucking process. It should be he isn't
wants to be made a hero in death. Yeah.
Right.
But I mean,
right. So let him sit in prison on death row, and let's
every
put him to
moment
trial.
he's sitting in prison alive is just a slap in the face. And I know I'm not telling you something you don't know, to Charlie Kirk's wife and those kids, and what he did to take a life like he did.
When Trump was the assassination attempt on him, I remember saying, like, thank fucking God. If we had seen that live on television, none of us would ever.
How would we see it live on television? CNN doesn't cover any of. Oh wait, were they at that one?
None of us.
How would we see it live on television? The New York Times never sends their photographer. Wait, was he in the front row? Go on, baby.
I said if we saw that live on television, if he had his fucking head blown off, none of us would ever. Yes, of course, none of us would ever be the same. And now it's here with a very lovely man that seemed like most people liked, all he wanted was open discourse with people from different sides. He didn't want just like, you're wrong, I'm right.
So why did somebody on the left shoot him?
He said to prevent violence, we all need to talk. And they just brutally murdered him in front of us.
Just like that conservative guy did. What's his name? Nobody ever.
Eugene.
Yes, don't say that in front of these people. I mean, but I get what you're saying, but that's just it. The left needs to realize they've become the party of hatred, division, and violence.
No, well,
I shouldn't say division because both sides have division.
Yeah, I don't take. It's all divided. I don't take.
Yes, it's all divided, but the left is the party of hatred and violence.
I don't generalize like that.
No, I'm not generalizing. Generalizing would be like, hey, you're pretty hot. But
you voted for Obama.
I did the first time. I did.
Hey, everyone's done something gay in their life.
Yes.
So there you go.
I was in a glory hole and I pulled the wrong lever.
I literally, honestly, to be completely honest, that was like if somebody's told me like, oh yeah, like it's honestly less gay to have just made out with a man than to have voted for Obama.
Yeah,
because what it means
the
is that
first
you go with,
time in my defense,
it means if you voted for Obama, it means you have a female personality. Because what it means is that you go with the hive mind, and it means that you believe the bullshit. But however, I'll clarify. This is the only time transgenderism is okay for me, because this is the time where you can have a female personality, and we all are born into it. We have this way that we believe the system, and we're sort of a part of it. And then you wake up and you go through your transgender op surgery. You get your penis created from your arm, forearm.
Yeah, just a swath of the arm.
They rip it off, and then you become a man, and then you realize that what ends up happening actually is that then you become so much of a man that you just give up on even believing anything. Like you go from like questioning some things to then just not even being able to believe any narrative.
Yeah.
Like somebody like jumps off of a roof in front of you and it's like, did I see that?
It's too disturbing.
Do you know what I'm saying though?
Yeah,
did I even see that? Or was that a psyop? Did the Jews do that?
Do you want me to? Do you want that? I know the answer.
Did Israel make that man jump? That's where my mind always goes. No, I'm kidding.
Did he have one of those Jew parachutes? Hey, what does it do? It Jews you down a lot fast. Anyway.
Oh boy. It's a good job.
This guy. But yeah, you don't know what to believe. Like, and this goes all the way back to when you said at the beginning of the show. So they have the guy in custody. We assume. Yeah. We've been taught to question everything, and what doesn't help us is how much the more we question, the more we realize we were lied to. You know, it goes all the way back to Bill. It goes way past, but like the things like it's become. I could say two words like Building 7. I could say that. You'd be like, oh yeah. I could say.
Looking back, that is very odd.
Yeah. Without a doubt, I could say Wuhan
I was in
market,
third grade,
and you'll be like,
Eugene.
and it's all stuff that we wanted to believe, and they took it from us. You know what I mean? Even what is Flight 700 TWA in 1996 started to say that was a missile.
I don't see how there's a conspiracy here. I mean, tell me one that this kid isn't, if he confesses, if that's not who it is.
Because they show pictures side by side of the ones they were showing on the manhunt.
He looked like a little twink jumping off a roof, and we found a little twink jumping off a roof.
The pictures, they zoom in, they're like, this is not the same guy. And you're like, well, it doesn't. But it probably is. You can do different angles. There's so many different, and now with AI, you question everything, and we don't want to question everything, but we've been lied to so long now. We have to question everything.
Well, here's the problem I have right now in the current rhetoric. So I want to talk about something here. There is a lot of grand conspiracies that are happening right now in the right wing that people maybe aren't picking up on, or maybe this is obvious to you, and this sounds stupid that I'm acting like you wouldn't know this, but there is obviously a great schism going on in the power hold, or the power hold of the future of the right wing. There are the traditional neocons who have held power since the late 90s until now. It's been about a quarter century of power. Now, if you're new to the show or you're not politically active, basically what a neoconservative is, they're the opposite of an isolationist. They believe in the American spirit and the American dream through the use of force internationally and through global control, which also leads to universalism and literal globalism as defined by American culture, the dollar, and through commerce and through society. We all watch the same movies, where there's no one race. We're all just under like a technocratic, feudalistic power, and it's not about superpower, it's about being a hyperpower. Now, there's another group of people called the Zionists, which also want to be in power, but they want to be racially or ethnically in power, religiously in power, and these guys work together. Not all neocons are Zionists, and they don't get along. Not all Zionists are neocons, but they both believe in the expansion through use of force, and it happens to be our military that is the one that goes out. It is our people who die, and we're the ones who pay for it. So it's like, at least the neocons are our people, and they're like, but the Zionists are not necessarily our people. They've brainwashed many of our people. Now, someone says, why don't you just say the Jews? Well, unfortunately, which makes me sad, because Protestants, I love Protestant Christians. Many of them they're so much more moral than I am. So I can't hate them. Like they're morally more upright than I am. So there's no criticism of their actions, but their ideology is toxic and poisonous many times, as many of them are Zionists and prop up the Zionist movement. So much so, I want to play something that's so insane. That's why I can't just say the Jews, because because not all Jews are Zionists, and not all Christians are Zionists, but the majority of Zionists in America are Christians. They really are. And it's not an anti-Christian show. I'm just saying. Now, I want to play something for you.
It's an anti-Jewish show?
No, it's not an anti-Jewish show either.
It's not.
No, yes, it is. Actually.
Is it hard for you to be named Elijah?
I was told I
don't mind that.
I was promised this was an anti... All right, fine.
No, like I actually wondered, but I think it's a good cover, right? It gives me a little bit of cover there. I want to play a real commercial for you that I thought was absolutely nuts. Don't put my screen up here for a second. Let me see. Jewish Christian commercial. This is crazy. Let me see.
Most visited website, Pornhub. I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Pornhub. What year
I'm trying
is
to find something here real fast. Back here a little bit. There's a thing that I retweeted. Oh man, that's probably gonna be too far back. I don't know if someone can look for it.
I hate when that happens.
Yeah, I'm like,
Is it media? Do you check media? I just
no,
learned that
because I retweeted it, but it's like, man, I'm like really active on Twitter. I'm like HIV in Africa. I'm just active everywhere. What?
That's pretty good.
Not bad.
I liked it too.
It's about a Jewish commercial where it's literal commercial that plays on a Christian radio station, and it actually blows my mind because there's all this Irina stuff. It's like, okay, here's the Jew stuff, here's this stuff. But we watched it the other day, and essentially, before I get to it, they literally raise money on Christian radio stations to feed hungry, old, elderly Jews. And also, it's gotten even worse because food's one thing, but now they're raising money to send Jews to go on vacation in Israel to be able to touch base in their homeland.
They're great business people. What do you want from them? That sounds great.
Well, I know, but I'm actually blown away. And I just tweet so much that I guess I can't find it. Here it is. I found it. This is a real commercial.
Yes.
This has got to be one of the craziest things ever.
I'm scared.
This is what's being advertised to Christians in the South and the Midwest on how to follow Christ. Listen to this.
Today, we are witnessing the rise of anti-Semitism around the world like never before. For many poor elderly Jews, their dream of making Aliyah one day and coming home to Israel is extremely difficult, if not impossible. But you can change all of that today for one precious Jew. Even in a time of war, the safety and shalom of moving to Israel under God's protection and his covenant promise to bring his chosen people home is why we're asking you today to partner with us. The cost to rescue one Jew and purchase a seat on an upcoming Fellowship Aliyah Freedom Flight is $710. With a donation to the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews of $35, they'll help one poor elderly Jew out of a life of hopelessness and anti-Semitism to start a brand new life in Israel. Here's how you can read. What? 800-342-0042.
We need to call them on air sometime.
800-342-0042.
Okay, listen. I love how they talk about Jews like they're battered dogs at the shelter.
In the arms of an angel.
That's a real commercial.
Yeah. Rest one port. Dude, they have one too. Someone sent me one there. That's like literally like for just $10 for $10 a month, you can feed an elderly Jew a hot meal. Blah blah blah. Like an elderly Jew. Why am I feeding Jews?
If that's
They
real,
have a lot of money. They can take care of themselves.
They're doing
if
great.
that's
They're doing
real,
really good.
They actually like the dog in the arms of an angel, whatever.
That's pretty good.
But if that they asked for like 10 cents a month, they said we just need $35 from all of you. That's a lot of money to send an elderly Jew back to the homeland.
It does seem like a lot of extra cash to
$35. There are people that are starving and dying.
Wouldn't it be funny if we like all sent him like to the airport in a giant boxcar? That'd be funny though, right?
Well,
No.
that's why. Well, that's why
No.
I've been.
Geno.
I've been.
What? No.
Eugene.
It wouldn't
So we
be-
get out. We talk. So we call the Clinton Foundation, get all the kids out, and we do a swap.
Get all
you
the
know,
kids out.
and we just do like an age ethnic swap. You know what I mean?
Oh, God. I don't
We
think
get
that.
the people that are transporting the kids, and then we put them in the box after they're done
but
transporting
here's
them,
what gets
and
me.
get them back to Israel. You know what I mean?
This is
It's not a bad idea.
This
Y'all
is
ain't
hysterical, and I'm losing my mind. And anyone that gets it, I've said it before. I'll say it again. The Jews and the blacks are doing great. All right. Have you seen the NBA? Have you met their agents? Don't give me shit when I say boxcar. When you say get the Clinton Foundation to dump the kids and get the stop it. It's fucking funny. All right.
They do have a show tonight, by the way. The Sad Man. Just throw that in.
I'm just gonna do all his jokes. I'm sorry.
Do you know what though? It's actually. I always call myself. We've always called myself on the show a C- level comedian because like most of what I do doesn't hit and it's not good, right? So it's not good at all. But
We think you're killing it.
Occasionally, yeah, killing the vibes.
Again.
It's like no, but I say most of it doesn't hit, but there's just enough in there that you're like, you know what? We'll give you a pass. So like I still pass the class. But it's not anything to tell your mom and dad about. You know what I mean?
But you, like,
You
first of
give
all, you're
yourself
wrong.
not
You're
enough
being
credit.
self-deprecating, which a comic does. And I'm not saying you're like, Carlin here, but like, you're like, I'm gonna insult you. You're like me. You're like, I don't care if you think that's funny. That really was funny to me.
That
Like,
was a
there's
good
times I've said stuff on stage, and it's like, you think of it like podcast. You think of it, and I'll be like, did I? I know it's not this funny, but that's. How can you be putting
It's
on
like
a
a cancer diagnosis, read it on stage. You know what I don't know. I just think if I got cancer, I'd probably do a stand-up show and read it live. you know?
But this is.
Everyone would laugh. Everyone would start laughing. I got cancer.
Do
You know?
it.
That'd be funny.
But this is what I talked about before when we were in the green room having delicious whiskey. It's like there's a reason that you like it's not a good show if you're not enjoying yourself, and you're enjoying yourself when you're cracking yourself up, when you're making other people laugh. And this is another thing that they try to take from us. I used to work at a wonderful company called Compound Media, which was a network. It was a
Rest in
network.
peace.
It was a studio where people had podcasts at a desk, and that went away because YouTube ruined everything.
Really? What happened?
Well, yeah, I don't know if you know this. They put them in giant boxes. Don't get up, honey. They
bitch.
put like 3 black guys in one box. Remember
Okay,
prom?
old man.
3 black guys. I'm kidding. But they put all
Can't
these.
wait to drop you off at hospice. I just waiting for my day.
But they normalize people sitting in their home in boxes rather than fucking coming out to a studio and
but to
exchanging
be
energy.
fair, when did we normalize having to be in a room with black people? You know what I mean? So maybe they were just thinking for the future. It's like we just keep them at home.
First of all,
That's very
he made air
untoward.
quotes when he said people. He made black people. He made air quotes. I saw
Dude,
it.
it's literally true. I was telling people I went to the dry cleaners. Totally side note to the dry cleaners, which I always say, if you're going to the dry cleaners, you assume whoever's using it automatically can read because you usually have to look at a tag and like read if it needs to go to the dry cleaner. So you already got a level of education needed. And there's 3 spots, and sometimes spots you can give people credit if the spots are tight and there's only one white line going through them. That's called my love life. But at the same
Hell
time,
yeah.
it's like, but at the same time, yeah. At the same time, this one had 2 lines to actually give some space so people could pull shit out of their car. The place is considerate. This is Boca Raton. Jews like their shit that needs to be dry cleaned. So I know this is already going to give away. There's like the punchline of the story is given away here.
It's the reveal.
There's a busted Nissan Altima parked with a taillight, busted out. So it's a hard story to tell once you put that fact in there. You know what I mean? Like it's like you start there and you're like, I know where this is going, and you do, and we're gonna go there. So the car is parked where the 2 white lines are going through the middle of the car. So they take up 2 of the 3 spots, parked crooked, to where it's like this person literally didn't give a fuck about anybody. Like didn't give a shit.
Especially white lines, am I right?
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, kind of based. Didn't even knew in that section that you don't want to go over the white. You know what I mean? You gotta stay under it. So it's like it's parked there. I'm like, I just think like when the neighborhood we're in, somebody like this shouldn't live here. They got to work here or something like that. I walk in and this monstrosity of a Shiboon, like it was like a pigeon. Like, you know when they have a round body and stick legs? Like, what?
I've never heard that term until today, but you told us this
she's
story in the
and
green
she's
room.
known me for 5 years, and I'm
You
stealing
told
it.
this story in the green room, and I knew what you meant, and I knew it was bad. And I've literally never heard it, not even from him.
Don't leave
go
your
ahead.
cell phone out.
I won't.
Don't put your cell phone
You
down.
did-
That's what I'm telling you. Don't
Keep
put your
going.
cell phone down. Yeah, so she's in there wearing a nightgown. This is by the
called
way,
a
mind you,
muumuu.
2 p.m. in the afternoon, wearing a nightgown, has a bonnet on. And you ever seen that caricature that people put under when they chimp out? You ever see that caricature? It's like it's got an underdeveloped prefrontal cortex, and it's like bent in these like duck lips, and then there's like a tiny little brain. I swear to God, I've always thought that was racist and sick.
Okay,
but I
good.
finally found out
Accurate.
where they got that caricature from. Ew, that's how this person looked. And I was like, no. You know what I mean? You know, like when you see somebody like you go, you see the goblins
Now
from
I
Harry
get
Potter.
it.
You see
Yeah.
the goblins from Harry Potter and you go,
Sure.
that's not how they look. And then you see one and you go, you see Jerry Nadler or somebody, you go, that's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's a goblin from the banks in Harry Potter. Like,
Yeah. Precious.
and then you see, and then they're like this and like, give me your money. And then you like watch a Mark Levin episode once and you're like, holy shit, we're living in Harry Potter. I saw this woman and she's like, I literally talked to her basically like, hey, what the fuck's, I didn't say what the fuck about, so you don't do that with them. You don't ask them like, hey, so, why'd you park like that? It's like, you got a problem with that? Yeah, yeah, I do, it's called following basic rules. And I was thinking like, then I dawned on me because I go, what is she doing here? These people don't care about the law. They don't care about inconveniencing anybody. And they sure as hell don't care about fucking staying within the lines of society. But they do care about keeping them clothes nice. So I'll tell you this. One thing I'll give these people is their shoes are always cleaner than mine.
That's right. Their Jordans are very clean.
Correct. I think they're
And
wearing Yeezys now too, right?
They still make Yeezys?
Oh, yeah.
He's having some trouble. So,
Really?
Yeah.
I thought his life was perfect.
But also, she might have
Could go
been
wrong marrying a
in.
porn star.
She might have been in a muumuu because she was dry cleaning all of her other clothes. So you got to give her that.
Both of her other clothes.
Yes. Her Yeezy.
Yeah, but but anyway, all I know is like when you like try to give the benefit of the doubt. Because I literally saw him like,
No.
oh, what is this? What is this person from Lake Worth doing in my, what are they doing in my neighborhood, first of all? But no, I'm talking about people that wear nightgowns out.
No, I
You
get
think
it.
that's a racial reference?
Not at
I'm talking
all.
about people that disrespect society.
Not at all. Not at all. I just
You made it racial. I didn't make it racial.
keep thinking of them.
I do just love that you went, this is bothering me so much. And this is what Charlie Kirk would have wanted, discourse. You went up to her and you
No,
said,
he wouldn't have wanted that.
why? You said, why did you park like that?
I
Like,
should have
why
had her a
would you
card
do
said,
this?
"Would you like to join Blexit?"
Yeah, exactly.
I was carrying cards around these people like, you just want to join Blexit? Because that's what we need is more people in muumuus spouting our ideas. That's a good idea. That's a no. But anyway, all I was gonna say about that story is like I just realized in American society, in the place that we're in, it's crazy because it's like on one hand, like Charlie Kirk got assassinated, and we're trying to figure out what the future is. But just reminding you guys that the lefties that want anarchy, the lefties that want collapse, even the accelerationists on the right, remember we live with those people too, okay? And they're barely hanging in there with like billions of dollars in policing. And like, you guys should remind you. I want to remind you, everyone's always like, I heard Dave Smith, it was a good point. He's like, he said this, and I'm going to play it for you. He had a really good point. And he said something very, very interesting about the shooting of Charlie Kirk. Check this out.
Charlie Kirk was the moderate. He was the fucking reasonable guy in the room, you dummy. He wasn't a far right activist. Are you kidding me? You have any idea what's out there? You think that was like the radical position? Charlie Kirk was the most moderate human being. He was a plumb line Republican. A plumb line Republican, as everybody who knows anything about anything knows, is 1 centimeter to the right of a plumb line Democrat. He was right just in the middle. He supported Israel like the Democrats and Republicans do. He was more, like a little bit more on the side of restrictive immigration policy. That was his big radical policy, was he was with 80% of the American people on immigration. It's not. So you sit there and what do you think? You think this is a victory? Like for you? You think, oh, you took out let me think this through here with all of my wisdom. I want to win a culture war. So what I did was I violently murdered the most high-profile moderate voice on the other side. Hey, geniuses, but summon all your wisdom together and tell me, do you think that is likely to calm things down, or might that lead to more radicalization? And what the fuck, these dumbass fucking lefties celebrating? Like, what exactly are you trying to start here, you fucking pussies? Like, Jesus Christ, man. I mean, go live your fucking weird lives and with your fucking pink hair and your 70 genders or whatever, but don't sit here and pretend you're ready for a fucking fight. Like, what are you doing? Do you know, it's like such a weird dynamic they have here, right? Where like, broadly speaking in the country, there's like this culture war, right? And like the left wingers are almost always the ones who are out on the streets. They're the ones protesting. I mean, yeah, you could point to January 6th, but it's like the one exception. It's the exception that proves the rule. But who is out in, the Ferguson, Missouri, protests and riots, or the Trayvon Martin protests and riots, or the George Floyd protests and riots, or there's the Pussy March, or there's the immigration march, or there's the campus activism over the last 15 years. It's like the leftists take to the street. They're the first ones to go, we're going to go out here and do a thing. It's much harder to get the right wingers out on the streets because they have families and jobs and church to go to. But the right wing is so much tougher. So much tougher. Like if this ever came down to a fight, the fight is right wingers mowing down gender studies majors. Like, what are we fucking talking about here? You ever see one of those videos where like Antifa would actually get into a fight? And then you'd realize that like, it's actually really funny. I mean, like it was kind of jarring and a little weird, but like there'd be all these videos where there'd be like, the black bloc guys, like 7 kids in hoodies with like, one of them's got a pipe and, they got the masks on. So you're almost like, oh, these are like kind of tough looking guys. And then one of them swings like the girliest swing of a pipe and completely misses. And then a man punches him in the face and you hear the guy go, hey, and you're like, oh, you're not tough. You're just like role playing as like, what do you guys think? But you're trying to provoke this other side who will annihilate you. And there are real deal militias in this country. There are real deal gun enthusiasts in this country. You do not want to pop shit off with them.
Correct. So here's the deal. So look, I get what he's saying, but here's I said good point. I think yeah. Okay, good. I said, yeah, well said, comic Dave Smith. But also I'm going to caveat that and say, I don't think people understand that more of what will happen in collapse is what's going on in Nepal right now. I don't know if you know, but Nepal, the Nepalese government was just overthrown by Gen Z. They burned down all the buildings. They burned down
by Gen Z.
Yeah, like the young people literally were mad. They were mad because the Nepo children from the bourgeois, they were like putting up a lot of like being like traveling the world, doing what kids of wealthy people do. Now, when there's more wealth disparity in a country like that than maybe here, right? People got mad. So then they started like, talking shit. So then the government went and did a social media ban. They banned Instagram, X, and everything.
That's why Gen Z revolted.
They literally revolted over Instagram slut pics. Imagine, you don't take away my Instagram pics.
I know.
So they literally revolted. And then what's crazy is So then they burned down some of the most beautiful historic like buildings built by the British, just beautiful buildings. I want to see if maybe I even have a video to show you just the tragedy of what's happened there. But like, look at this. Here's like their main government building, right here. I mean, they've torched the government buildings. The main thing, if you take that off for, you can see that. Yeah, if you take that off for 1 second though, I want to bring this up. What happened is they didn't think of what would happen after they destroyed the government. And what happened is, I'm going to bring this up here.
It's like when a baby starts crying, or if you give them an iPad and you take the iPad away and they can't handle it. Now you burn down the government.
So they burned down the government, but look at this. And now gangs and stuff have taken over. They burned down like the Hilton. Look at this. They burned down the Hilton Hotel in like the Hilton, right? They're burning down like private commerce that's not even owned by the government, and they're looting and they're just raping everyone.
Oh, Jesus.
So it's like, I'm telling people, I don't think it's going to be this hoo-ha, shooting the Antifa versus the right. It's like, think about what the blacks are going to do. You know what I mean? Now you're like everyone needs to stop in this like, it's going to be left versus right. No, it's going to be civilized versus uncivilized. That's what happens in collapse. Maybe a civil war, maybe during the war.
They have no impulse control.
Wait, what does it have to do with black people, though? I mean,
because they're inherently violent. Statistically
they have no impulse control. They have their frontal lobe is not as developed.
Correct, and that's not all of them. It's not all of them, but I've said about 40%. Because we have black people that watch the show. They're not. I always call it the exception to the rule. There's like a top 10% that are like totally normal, integrate whatever, and then there's about another like 50% that are like somewhere across the spectrum of like they're smart enough that they can do things. That they can do things that like somebody else, like even like a normal intelligence white person would do. However, as you go further down the line of the percentages, it gets worse and worse and worse. The IQ becomes a problem. However, it's where the culture plays more of a problem than it is necessarily IQ. It's because like they become very much with their identity of praising blackness, that those 40% do something crazy, and the other 50% dedicated to their black race either join in if they're lower on the spectrum, or then they excuse it and defend it in court, or like will be on a jury and let them get away with it, or they defend it on social media. So you got about 10% that are like, fuck you guys, and you can see this by voting.
It's called the Carnival Cruise corollary, but go on.
Oh,
yeah. So I'm saying, so like maybe on that 50%, the bottom 20% will join in on the rioting and the looting, and the top 20% of that 50% are just gonna like excuse it on social media, be like, hey, don't worry about it. You guys are just racist. So you got about 90% that are like problematic in their own way and not willing to help themselves. And that's not a racist thing to say. That's lived experience. That's what our country deals with. And then everyone always points to the 10%, the exception to the rule, to then say that that's the rule. And it's like, no, it's not the rule. You can't gaslight me anymore. I've already been married for about a decade. I'm good at that. You can't.
I know the script.
Correct.
I see it coming. I've watched the game tape.
I'll be a widow in a decade. I'm sure.
Here,
no, it's like what it is. So I'm gonna tell people, this is why people, just so you know, people are like, the same thing. What do we do about this? I don't know. So I started Riff so that we can actually have the first mainstream right-wing network that can talk about Jews and things and actually be real and like bring things back. It's not even right-wing. It's just common sense network of decentralized information. But also, so you guys know, you'll be seeing it announced tomorrow, the official announcement. But in light of Charlie and Charlie's assassination, and then Tyler Boyer saying what Charlie would want you guys all to do is activism, to honor him, we're doing the first ever Riff TV college tour at some of the biggest universities in the country, as well as some smaller ones. So we're not to just say, hey, we just care about the big names. We're gonna be at UCLA, we're gonna be at UC Irvine, we're gonna be at Liberty University. I don't even know, Knoxville, University of Tennessee, Knoxville, I think.
Go Vols.
Are we at Rutgers or something? Or where are we at? I don't even know anymore. I don't think we've announced all of them, but we have a lot of people impending. But we're gonna be doing college tours. And you know what? For the first time, this is where I'll explain it tomorrow on a video on X, but like, unlike Ben Shapiro, these people who are like, making it about themselves, like, I'm gonna pick up the bloodied mic, and it's like, but are you charging them? Because then you're not really doing anything, because Turning Point raised its own money for itself. Maybe they are. Are you raising your own money and not charging the students? Or are you trying to get money from the students and make it look like you're really helping out the kids? So this is going to be the first ever self-funded, crowd-funded college tour. This is why we're trying to change the culture. So we're going to put it out just like how Turning Point raises donations. We're going to keep it really low. We're going to be, we're not trying to raise anything. We're trying to raise $25,000 for the 8 schools. It does cost money. We do have to hire security. Guys, people have assaulted me so many times. Even when I was at UCLA back in 2019, I got assaulted, and some people have thrown rocks at me on stage, like piss bottles. So that's before it got this bad.
I was going to ask you, can I ask you, I've been meaning to, are you freaked out by this? Are you afraid? Because if I were you, I think I would be like, I think of Alex Stein too, I think like.
No,
I've always
Stein's
protested.
a joke.
Yeah.
That came out wrong. I mean, Stein, they know. I love Alex Stein. They
Love
know
Alex,
Stein said trans should be in the military. They should be allowed because they love killing people.
He's more of a, clown and
But
makes
I
a
meant
joke
people
of it.
know
but,
he's joking. Like, they're like, oh, he's just being an asshole.
No, but
they're like, he's serious.
he also annoys people. But like, I'm wondering, are
out
you?
so bad. I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
you're a joke, Eugene. Our marriage is a joke. No, I wonder.
a lie.
I'm teasing you. I wonder, are you afraid to go out and tour now after this? Like, are you afraid of copycats or
No. I'm really not, because I've had guns pointed at my head. I've had, people have. You can see this. It's all on camera. I've had people, I got getting jumped at gunpoint on camera. This is like crazy stuff. I've had guns point. I pulled the trigger and it jammed, and I had to get out.
But I just would hate for you to die a virgin. You know,
well
it would
done.
be terrible.
That's true. It's like he died with his finger up his butt. What is that about? It's like, as you're going out. No, but this is the point. It's like we're trying to change the culture of the right wing, and so we're doing this. We'll have the full campaign out tomorrow. If I don't, this is my point. It's like, oh, well, you're trying to raise money for it. Look, if I don't raise money for it, I'm just going to pay it out of pocket anyways. I'm just trying to actually make these. I'll go do it without security and just go do it
indoors. Don't do it outdoors then.
Well, we're going to hit the universities because right now, like Turning Point has paused all events, obviously, and then
They are going to keep going, don't you think?
Yes, they will, but it's obviously going to have to rethink a lot of things.
Sure. Sorry to interrupt.
No,
Sorry.
they do have to rethink a lot of things, but we're going to make the change we want to see. And we're going to do it. And the reason we're going to do it is with your help. And we're going to do it's going to be called Our Turning Point. So this is a tour, Our Turning Point College Campus Tour. And we are going to hit these 8 major universities in 2 months, 8 universities in 8 weeks. And you'll see the Kickstarter, the GoFund, Give, Send, Go up tomorrow with the video. And we're going to just come to the people to fund it. It's like we're not going to the Jewish billionaires and people that won't let us say what we're going to say. Unless if you are a Jewish billionaire and you don't want to police us and you want to send the money, we'll take it. However, we're really trying not to take dirty Zionist money in all the work that we're doing.
Filthy.
It's filthy, and it compromises everything. So the whole point about Rift is that we're not like officially have a position as a network on anything. Everybody has their own position. But we're not going to take money from people who are going to force us to have a network position on anything. So we can let our people have their own opinion. I don't think if you loved Israel, you probably would want to work here because, quite frankly, it probably means you're retarded and you don't. This isn't the network to work at. But like that's not a requirement. Your opinion on Israel is not. I don't even ask you that. I just look at your skin color and that's it.
You know my opinion on Israel. How did I get this gig?
Not bad, young man.
Come on.
Yeah, it's like you. Yeah. So you think I'm anti-Semitic? No, I'm just a white supremacist. That's it. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm actually. I'm not a white supremacist because white supremacist means you think white people are better. But I don't know what the name is for when you know.
Do you know any white supremacists other than half your guests from your show back in Australia? Do you know any in real life?
You're sitting right here.
Hey, Geno Bisconte, first time, long time. After this, we're all going out for a slice of Hitler's brick oven pizza.
Oh,
what?
boy.
Yeah, no, I actually don't. I think I don't actually know a lot of people. I mean, obviously, everyone knows this is like whatever, but this show's like obviously everything's tongue in cheek. But no, I really don't. What I notice is that there's people that are fighting against white guilt. And they're also, like any normal human being, proud of who they are. They're proud of their heritage. They're proud of their genetics. And they're proud of, it'd be like an Asian being like, oh, I like Asians better because I'm Asian. You're like, that makes sense because you're an Asian and you want kids to look like you. All I see is white people that are not giving into the white guilt and are trying to preserve and prevent replacement migration, prevent white guilt from making them feel bad about who they are and wake people up to be proud of what we've built. We've built the modern world. That's all I see. I don't see people saying, I hate everyone who's not like me. However, I think that if we continue to demonize white people, that is going to be what the younger generations are going to feel. I think they are starting to hate. I think it's mostly Alpha and young Gen Z that are really fomented a lot of hate towards people.
It's the internet. It's Discord. That's a dangerous, scary place. They don't look up. I think millennials, I think we're the only generation that had not the internet and the internet. So we got a little best of both worlds.
The thing about white guilt is I almost would want to call it wealth guilt. But the thing is,
are we wealthy?
No, we are not.
You guys said they're comedians. You didn't even.
But the thing about it is, like black people that grew up wealthy, they rely on slavery and they want reparations still. White people that grew up wealthy, they're like, well, it's because I'm white. No, it's because your parents give them credit, like earned their wealth, or maybe they were born with it. But I always push back on it because I'm born and raised. I grew up on a farm in South Jersey. We're farmers. Like we like when my grandparents came over from Italy, they didn't say, hey, you're white, pick a slave right here and take whatever job you want.
Imagine what could have been.
I know, right? They're like, and we're from, I love telling this story, we're from Vineland, New Jersey, because in a simpler time, they're like, well, it's the soil's so fertile. Obviously, you stupid wops are all going to grow grapes and make wine. But we grew a ton of, listen to me, like I ever farm. But that's why you push back. It's like, we weren't wealthy. I have no guilt for being white. You don't know what how I was raised.
We're Italian. We're barely white anyway.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah.
That is why blonde hair, blue
together
eyes.
to be considered white, because you got half white together makes a whole. You know what I mean? So it's no, but honestly though, like I saw a video of Oslo the other day. A guy was walking. Those walking videos where they just walk and like film the city. I barely saw any Norwegians there.
So you were masturbating. It was porn. It was porn. I mean, he's a virgin, but he can masturbate, right?
No, that's ungodly.
Yeah. Well, they call that Jewish pornography, which is, I guess, it all is. But I mean, but at the same time, it's when you see white erasure and you get happy about it. Remember, Bill Maher was like, "It's a good thing," It's like, well, he's like, "It's been so good. We've made America less white, and it's a fantastic thing." And you're like, "You fuck."
He's the worst.
I'm about to go and purposely fail out of art school. You know what I mean? Just so I can live up to my legacy. As a German. It's
That's
like,
a
hey,
Hitler
buddy.
I got the Hitler reference.
What Hitler? Condemn.
Disavow.
By the way, the new thing we're doing now too is they choose Christianity and say Judeo-Christianity as a hyphen. Like they hyphenate it, right? Like it's an African American or something like that. Judeo-Christianity, which, by the way, I've always told people, I say on the show, it does exist. It's just that Christianity also exists too. So there's a cult called Judeo-Christianity, which is where you don't believe that you're the body of Christ. You believe that the body of Christ are the Jews. They're the chosen ones. They're the ones of the blessing of God, not you. And you have,
that's what Judeo-Christianity. I've heard that infinitely.
Yeah.
Countless times. I never really knew what it meant.
So that's what it meant, is that you think that the blessing of God, that the chosen people are still bloodline through the blood of Jewish blood, and those who are religiously Jewish, and the blessing did not come to those who now believe on Jesus Christ. The church did not become the chosen body of Christ. And so you think you're less than, and that you think that Jesus' sacrifice is not really as powerful as it is. You don't really believe in the atonement of the blood, and you're actually living in a cult. So that's Judeo-Christianity. So now we're going to start giving them credit for other things that they wanted to start, like feminism. We're going to call it Judeo-feminism now, because that is because they say, well, Christianity comes from Judaism. That's what they say it means. Well, Christianity comes from Judaism. Well, it doesn't come from Judaism, actually. It fulfills Judaism, which is a little bit different, and then it creates, this new, what is this? Just to clarify, go to that. Yeah. So those are the Christians, and then the Judeos were the ones that put them on the cross. Yeah. Just to clarify. Ed's back.
It's terrible. I love it.
But I was say, so yes, we'll do Judeo-homosexuality.
The only thing would have been funnier if it said J-E-W with a hyphen D-E-O. That would have been.
There you go.
Anyway.
You're punching it up, Eugene.
It doesn't need
do you
my
know we
help.
get transgenderism from the Talmud? I don't know if you know that.
No, I do not.
Yeah, it's like the only religious book that teaches about multi-genders, changing genders. All this LGBTQ stuff is Talmudic teachings. It's crazy. That's why like Hirschfeld, Manfield, all the guys that, that guy was trying to kill, all were Jewish. It wasn't because he just had this like hatred towards Jews. It's that they're trying to bring into actualization, manifest Talmudic ideas into society, which says that humans can have different genders. This is not a joke. You can have different genders. You can switch your gender. That's why they created, that's what he was burning. The books he was burning were pornography and about transgenderism. Yeah. And when he was kicking Jews out, he was kicking socialists and communists out. They got to tell on themselves. It's like he was kicking communists and socialists and transgenders and like LGBTQ clinics out and stuff, who all just happened to be Jews. Which is why not all of them were Jews. Which is why not everyone who was targeted were Jewish. It's just like he was targeting Jews everywhere, and it's like what were those Jews doing though? Because they always tell you that they're a victim, but they never tell you what the people were mad about. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, they were mad at us and kicked us out. But why did they do so?
Well, wouldn't that tell you that transgender people and gay people and they've been here since the beginning of time, and maybe it's a little trendier now to be.
You think
Yeah, absolutely.
You think transgender people have been since the beginning?
If
you think you had
Bruce
primordial
Jenner-
soup transgender amoebas?
It depends how you
Absolutely.
define transgender. I don't
If
believe it
I-
at all,
I-
but you could say.
I believe that transgender, if Bruce Jenner, Olympic medalist, okay, is Caitlyn Jenner now, and he feels better, or she feels better
He's from
than
LA.
she ever has.
Everyone becomes transgender
He's
in
back.
LA after a long
Okay,
enough.
no,
Vaccines
I
cause
mean,
autism, and everyone that's trans is autistic.
I believe.
And the vaccines are
don't
amazing
say
things. Sorry,
I
go.
believe that I believe that it's always been. It's an unfortunate thing to feel like you were born in the wrong body. I don't think it happens as much as people saying it happens
Hey, listen
now.
to this. It's called
Yeah.
It's called puberty. Everybody. It's like I love when people are like, man.
When you went
Like-
through puberty,
like,
did
it's
you
like-
think you wanted to be a girl?
I was a girl. My name was Elizabeth Schaefer, and I transitioned. I always told people I was in high school. I transitioned to a new school because I got kicked out of my other school for ditching the Special Olympics to do mushrooms. And it's like, oh, I didn't want to hang out with retards. I wanted to get retarded. You know what I mean? So I went and I left. And then she told everyone that I was kind of a high voice and like camp mannerisms. She told everybody that I was like very skinny back then too, like really slender, like small frame. I spent years putting on
Petite.
weight. Yeah. Well, I was tall, but you know, like Twinkie, you know? And
Twinkie. Yeah, there you go.
yeah, filled with cream. But it was my own cream, so it wasn't gay, right? But it wasn't gay. But
You
but,
put it back in. Yeah.
Yeah, it came with the cream, so it's not bad. But jokes aside, it's like she told everyone I was Elizabeth and I had transitioned, and people like actually believe it. It never went away. Like people, I'd be like in a conversation with people, I'd be like, so like when did you like transition? And I'll be like, okay, I'm not
That's
actually
why it
transgender.
bothers
No,
you,
I
yeah.
understand. They'd be like, I understand. Like you're a girl. I mean,
You're
you're
in
a
a
man.
safe place.
Yeah, no, you're a man. I think you're a man. I'd be like, no, I'm not transgender. And they'd be like, no, I know you're a man now. And I'd be like, oh man.
That's a diabolical rumor
Yeah, I
to
had
start.
a couple
yeah.
girls who didn't want to go to the dance because they thought I was
They
transgender.
thought like
That's
you're
why
a
they
man
didn't wanna
now,
go.
but you were
Not
born
'cause I was ugly.
Elizabeth.
yeah. But anyway, it was a twink arc. There was a twink arc. Some people say it never left. Some people say it never left. But tonight, we have a great show going on today. There is a comedy show going to be here in the Boca Raton, the mouth of the rat, the city is called, which is
Heard
why
that.
the Jewish people decided that was their city. That's very scary. By the way, Ben Shapiro's studio is right up the street. Newsmax,
Really?
Newsmax is around the corner.
Is it really?
Yeah,
we gotta
we're-
crash that.
Yeah. Well, you know, I'd say right now is the wrong time to try to get through right-winger security teams. We're probably on high alert.
Leventhal, I gotta go hit him up.
Yeah. Next, I'll be on Mark Levin next week at 2. I'm just kidding, no. But so reminding you guys, so that the show. So I don't know if you want to share little details about the show tonight and tomorrow night. I'm gonna try to go tomorrow night if I can. If I can't, don't hate them because I got 2 kids and it's already hard to to work on the weekends. But
You're
Immaculate
a-
conception. Immaculate conception. That's why.
correct, that's why I'm going to Catholic
Before-
Church because I don't know how my wife had the kids.
Before
They're
the-
black too.
Before the JEW Deo-Christians got him. What did he say?
Tell them about our show, Eugene.
We will be at Sad Man Comedy Club tonight at 8 p.m. Tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Me, Keanu, I will be headlining. Keanu C. Thompson will be there. David Sadman, who is running the club, and well, he's a comedian who started the club. I love that these guys have pushed back. It's a great little club. It's right around the corner. And who's the other guy? Awad something, Palestinian guy. He's great. But it's we'll all be there and some great comic friends or something. I think Gerard Michaels is coming by tomorrow night. Bruce Smirnoff, great Florida comic. All
Is
just
his
getting the band
friend
back together.
Daniel Gregu's coming?
Who?
You said Mr. Smirnoff's coming. I know Jack Daniels is on his way too. You know,
Jack Daniels.
That's crazy.
himself, yes. Mr. Woodford Reserve.
Elijah, who's the Elijah Dinkle? I don't even.
Next week I'll be
Jose Cuervo?
Next week I'll be with the incomparable Chrissy Mayer in Plano, Texas.
Let's go.
Always
Shout out
go
to Chrissy Mayer.
Love
Yeah.
you, Chrissy, man. Thanks for
Go to
hooking us up.
Keanu C. Thompson on X and or Twitter or YouTube if you'd like to watch the live show. But Chrissy Mayer for the date of that.
Yeah, and then we're gonna add the link. If you can have Sam add the link now into the description and pin it to the comment. If you guys want to help sponsor our campus tour to honor Charlie, our Turning Point. It's called Our Turning Point. And then I love how Sam was like, would it even matter if they use their name? I go, I hate to tell you this, but the word Turning Point is not their name. It's a phrase called the Turning Point.
Yeah.
And yeah, if we said Turning Point USA event, yes, that'd be infringing on copyright. But our Turning Point, and he's like, yeah, but isn't it kind of like too connected? I go, it's literally a memorial tour. it's like intentionally.
Yeah.
It's intentionally.
You want to have a nod to it.
Yeah, it's like, hello, we're really sad about this, and I just wanted to say
Morning
something.
Point.
Yeah, no, legitimately, I just want to say something very important here. Just in the midst of this is not a joke. Despite all the stuff going with Charlie, if you can go to my screen here for a second, we have not. If you can put on my this screen, the computer.
That shit.
We have not forgotten about you.
Oh.
You know, we have not forgotten about you, and we are not over. We are not on the news cycle of just moving on and moving over. We know, and we'll talk about it probably on the next show. Some more updates on this stuff. We know what happened, and we're not going to let it go. You know, both Charlie and Irina are martyrs. They are martyrs for the people of the world. They are martyrs for Western civilization. They are martyrs for the white race. She was attacked because she was white, and Charlie was attacked allegedly now because, you know, they said he was like a white supremacist or whatever. You know, basically, if we're saying moderate things, all she did was exist, and all he did was try to have debate, and yet they were murdered, not because they were evil, but because of who they were, and it was something they couldn't change. And I just want to remember, you're not exempt, because like Charlie might have, I'm bringing them both up because Charlie is high profile. Well, I'm not high profile. Neither was she. In fact, she was the lowest of the low. She was a refugee. And it seems so funny that the left cares so much about refugees when they're committing crimes, but not when they're murdered, all because she had was in the wrong skin color, the skin color that built
Well
the world.
said.
You
Well
heard
said.
she lived like in the Ukraine in a bomb shelter. She came here for a better life. She was murdered by that piece of shit with 16 fucking arrests. Given free cashless bail by a woman who was never went to law school. And when they called the embassy, like we call the Ukrainian embassy, God forgive me, our government called the Ukrainian embassy and said, we will pay for the body to be set. And they said, no, she wants to be buried in America. It was her dream to live there. And this is what we're let going on, you know?
But Zelensky wouldn't let her dad then fly to come to the funeral because he's still eligible for draft despite being 58 years old. That's really happened. But I want to end it there. If you guys want to plug your socials real fast, because I know you guys got a show at 8 p.m. tonight. If you're aboard right now in the Boca Raton, West Palm, Fort Lauderdale, even Miami, you have time to get up now. If you're in Miami area, you got time to get up here. And if you're watching this later, they'll be there tomorrow night as well. So what's your socials?
Keanu C. Thompson, Keanu Cast on YouTube, Keanu C. Thompson on X, Keanu C. Thompson on Insta. That's where you can find all of Kiki's stuff. There you go, Eugene. You go.
If you like me, Google Geno Bisconte comedy. No matter how you spell Geno or Bisconte, trust me, I will come up. Geno_Bisconte on Twitter. I'm on Rumble, much like this goddamn hero, doing a show 3-4 days a week at 3 p.m. So
Hell
thanks.
yeah.
And by the way, thanks for letting us hang, dude. This
This
has
has
been
been so much
goddamn
fun.
blast.
Yeah.
You know what? You know, it's like having Anthony Cumia on, except you haven't destroyed a business where your friends work.
I destroyed his business.
I'm totally fucking around. I love Cumia.
He's the best. We were drinking with him last weekend.
Yeah, and I got to get Cumia back on. Cumia's one of the only people I know that could take a beating, because man, he beats his own meat harder than anyone I know. So
Hell yeah.
XBigZX said, "Win. We needed this today," as a super chat. Let me go real fast back to Let me go back to my. Give me a second here. Back to my studio. I don't know why it just. Oh man, I just hate this stuff. Let me go back to the actual. Sorry. Well, you know what? We'll have to read the next chats in the next show because my computer just doesn't work. Do you have the chats? Like, my computer just never works. Like, why the fuck do I have this computer if it doesn't
good.
work?
It gives you a gravitas when
My
you talk.
computer's like a fucking dick when I'm 80 years old. It's like it never
Don't
works.
talk about Eugene
right
like
here.
that.
Yeah, I'm like trying to get this to work. And it doesn't work. The actual. So I can't see all the super chats. Fan funding. Oh, here they are. Now you can click on it. Okay. Manny Musket said in 2025, if a comic doesn't like the tape from their set, should they dox the fan who filmed it? Also, no one said this, but everyone knows that Geo is flat broke. Okay.
That's a troll. Go on, yeah.
I know. Somebody kept saying that. Rome77 said the claim that Kirk's wife and kids were UVU traces to a BBC misread of Senator Mullen's post. BBC corrected. TPUSA UVU press said they weren't there. Oh, okay. Okay, that's good. That's good. If that's good. We'll see. Also, I wanted to tell you guys as well, coming up in the future, just a couple things. Turning Point UK, Turning Point Australia. They had a huge vigil. Hundreds of people came out. This is going across the country. And if you look at the broadcast, everyone's saying they deserved it. He deserved it. And if you looked at Germany, there's a dyke, like Indian woman who was like, well, that's what happens when you have misandrous comments and you're sexist, you know? And you have an Indian in Germany that's a lesbian telling you that people who promote white ideals are the problem. Fucking holy shit, man. He was right. That's how we'll end it tonight. My name is Elijah Schaefer. Thank you so much again for watching another episode of The Rift live Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. It is usually at 7 p.m. However, I like this way better at 5 o'clock. This was way fucking better. I had way more energy. The extra 2 hours, you just get drained. You know, it's like you're already working all day from home and from here. And it'd be nice, you know, to possibly get off a little bit earlier. So we'll see. We might be changing the time of the show, but it's on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We have new shows launching. Have a great rest of the week. Thank you guys all. Don't forget to check out the Give, Send, Go link to support this speaking tour, whatever you can give, $5, $10, you know, whatever. And if you have any rich friends, let them know that we're doing this in honor of Charlie. There's no profit being made from this. All proceeds are going directly towards speaking at schools. And if we make more money than we're trying to raise, we're literally just going to go do more schools. So this is a nonprofit venture, and we appreciate you guys. It is not tax deductible right now. We are going to be filing for a 501c3 in the future. So this may be a pending donation that you may be able to write off in future taxes. Have a great rest of the week as always. Thank you to my guests.
Thank you for having us. This has been so much fun.
Yes, thank you. And may God bless the United States of America. I'm signing out.